Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dirty Martini. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having an amazing day. If today I sound a little bit out of it, that's because I'm completely out of it. Guys, I legitimately, please, be patient with me today because I just arrived back from the Netherlands. Yes, I did go back. I'll get to this, but today was one of my longer trips from the Netherlands to Bulgaria because it legitimately, and I'm not kidding, it took 24 hours. My eyes are burning. My body is in absolute shambles. Everything hurts. Everything hurts. And it's because I hope that one day I do not have to count on saving those 150 to 200 euros that I saved from traveling like this so that I can eat. I hope I reach a point in my life where 200 euros is not determining of whether or not I eat that month or not, and I can just spend it on traveling comfortably and traveling directly to Bulgaria from the Netherlands, because now I am stuck with this and I just cannot wait for the day I have financial comfort and don't have to, deprive myself of the luxury of comfort for the sake of saving money. Because now, and the thing is, I know you're tired of hearing my travel stories, but guys, I am tired of living them. I left from the Netherlands. I went to Germany. I flew from Germany to Serbia, and from Serbia to Bulgaria, because this legitimately with Air Serbia saved me 200 euros compared to if I was to fly from Eindhoven to Sofia with Ryanair or Wizz Air, because for whatever reason the low-cost carriers are becoming way more expensive than what are perceived to be the national, more expensive and more high-end airlines. And that is just so fun to experience. And now I had to fly from Hamburg, which meant, so the thing is, I booked my tickets quite a while ago, and normally when I book my tickets, I book everything, so by the time the trip comes around, it is free, because this is how girl math works, obviously. But I apparently forgot to book a Flixbus from the city I live in the Netherlands to Hamburg. So now what I had to do is I had to use Deutsche Bahn. And I don't know how this stereotype of Germans being so punctual came around, and especially the German, railroad, because I've never had an experience with the German railroad. Sorry, I'm struggling with saying R in any language. That's why people hear my name as Martina with a G, and it's very difficult for me to explain that I just cannot pronounce the letter R. And I've thought about introducing myself as Martha, but pronunciation like Martha, so that people can be like, oh yeah, I know your name, because my name is quite common, I would say. It's not a difficult name. I just struggle to pronounce the letter R in any language. Anyways, so I had to use Deutsche Bahn, which is like the German railroad company system, whatever you want to call it. And because, I've never had an experience where the train was on time, I was like, oh, I will have to leave in the morning. So in case the train doesn't show up, in case there's a delay, I still have the time to make up for it. And for me to catch my 8:30 flight, I had to leave at 10 a.m., which meant that I had to wake up early. I fit in a quick workout. I had to prep everything. And the good thing is that now, for whatever reason, I wasn't as nervous as normally about my trip, which is what also happened on my way going to the Netherlands. which is a first in a long, long time. And I actually managed to squeeze in a few hours of sleep, which was very, very beneficial because I just had a lot of traveling ahead of me. So I left at 10 a.m. and basically, guys, let me tell you what my trip looked like, transport means wise, when it came to me arriving home in Bulgaria. So I used public transport bus to get to the train station. From there, I used the first train to get to this city at the German border. And from there, I used a bus to get to a city, well, a small town, from where I catch a train to Bremen. And from Bremen, I catch a train to Hamburg. And in Hamburg, I was supposed to meet up with a friend, but like stuff happened, so we couldn't meet. So I had 2 hours to myself. So I went to take a walk, but like the weather was so shitty. Like it was constantly raining, so I couldn't necessarily walk around and explore. I mean, I've already been to Hamburg multiple times because of, saving money by flying to Germany and then going to the Netherlands, then flying directly to the Netherlands. So I just hid in a mall. And here's something I will say. I will never get over the fact that in Western Europe, you have to pay to use the restroom in malls. This just does not make sense to me at all. I don't think it's okay because it's a shopping center and you're already going there with the intention to spend money. So might as well, make toilet a ride. And I know some of you out there now might be saying, oh, what a leftist commie and like such a radical liberal. But I genuinely think the things that you need to do in order to secure survival, such as consume food, drink water, and go to the toilet, should be freely accessible. And I'm sorry, but like they should be a birthright. And I get it. You're charging for the toilet paper and the products that you use and the people who are cleaning after you. But like, just I really don't think that we should charge people for the bathroom. Like this is so ridiculous. And what was even more frustrating is the Netherlands spoiled me. And what I mean by this is the Netherlands is extremely card payment friendly. In fact, in many places, you cannot pay by cash. Many places you will see signs that say PIN only, which means that you can only pay by card. And because of this, I hardly ever carry any cash with me, which I know is quite stupid because especially if there's like an outage the way there was, I believe I think it was Spain or France, I don't remember, and like the POS terminals don't work, you will have to pay by cash. But I just don't carry cash anywhere. I just carry my card, which I know, stupid. Normally, I usually have like 10 euros in my wallet just in case something happens, but this time I didn't. And I only had Bulgarian leva, which is something that's going to exist only for a few more months. So guys, if you want any souvenirs from Bulgaria, get yourself a leva because it will never come back around. And this is something I actually want to do before we convert to the leva. I want to save from every single banknote and every single what we call stutinka, which is like the cent to the Bulgarian leva. I will save each one of them, at least one, so that I can, have something to look back on. Like, not to be nostalgic, it's just like I would love to be able to look back and be like, oh, this is what our money used to look like. And this is also like, I remember it was more than 10 years ago for sure, when we converted our two leva from a banknote to a coin, and I just saved like 10 banknotes. And sure, they don't cost anything, but it's just really nice. I just love looking at old money, and especially when I look back at the old communist money and there's like banknotes of 1,000 leva, and it's just so fascinating to see because I just think it speaks to a country's history, and I would love to you know, save them and like flex on people in 20 years and be like, oh yeah, I still have leva, which is not going to cost anything, but still I want it for myself. Doesn't matter. So I didn't have any euros on me. And not only do you have to pay to use the restroom, at least in that mall I went to, but you had to pay in cash. So they just simply did not allow me to use the restroom. And I went to another mall, the same thing happened, and I was just like, fuck this shit, man. And that's when I realized why the entire city of Hamburg smells like piss. And I mean, and not to get too graphic, but it smells as if like a crowd of people pissed in a bowl and left it out on a hot summer day to just, I'm going to throw up just thinking about this. Just the entire city smelled like piss, and that was really not pleasant. And especially with all the crowds, Hamburg was very overwhelming. I did not enjoy it now. But I had like a quick stop, and then I was supposed to go to the airport. And I've been to the Hamburg airport. I've gone to the Hamburg airport and from the Hamburg airport multiple times. So I know my way around. I've used the S-Bahn multiple times. I used the Deutsche Bahn Navigator app, and I speak a bit of German. Although yesterday when I was talking to people and like looking for help for this or like asking for the bathroom, I was so terrified of speaking in German that I spoke in English, and obviously nobody spoke in English. Well, not obviously, but like I just noticed that, like, again, the Netherlands really spoiled me in the sense that in the Netherlands everybody speaks English, and even if they don't speak to you in English, they can understand you and they'll speak to you in Dutch, and they will, I don't know, just the Netherlands really, really spoiled me. So yeah, I was very, very scared to speak in German, so I just spoke in English, and that's not doing myself any favors because I really want to practice and improve my language skills, but that's a topic for another time. So, I know my way around. It's not my first rodeo, and I get on the S-Bahn from the main train station, and mind you, I had to take a later S-Bahn, which is basically like a tram situation, because me, the genius I am headed super fast to the S-Bahn stop, and then I realized, shit, I forgot my luggage. Because I had stored my luggage in one of the lockers in the train station. And thank God I remembered, because I was like, oh, why am I traveling so conveniently and don't have to worry about luggage and stuff? And then I look at my hands and I'm like, well, because my luggage is not here. And thank God I remembered literally last minute, and I just ran to grab my suitcase. Again, the whole room, oh, I'm gagging just thinking about it. Like, the whole room smelled like piss. Like, those toilets at festivals. Oh my God, it was terrible. It legitimately was terrible. Just the being in that air made me feel like I am dirty. And guys, I'm currently in my bathrobe. I came home 5 hours ago. I have showered twice. I'm about to go shower a third time because I just feel like my skin has soaked up all the piss air and all the car exhaust and everything. So I get on the S-Bahn and I'm traveling to the airport, and it's basically I'm supposed to catch S1 to the airport. And after the airport, S-Bahn 1 continues to Poppenbüttel, I believe it was. Doesn't matter. Like, no one here actually cares. But the thing is, and I'm using the Deutsche Bahn app, and I've been to the airport multiple times. I've never had to switch trams to get to the airport. It's always been a direct one. It's always been the S1 one. And I'm traveling, and after, they make the announcements, oh, next stop is this one. That you are traveling on the S-Bahn towards direction at blah 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 XYZ. And after a certain stop, they stopped mentioning you're traveling to the airport using S1 line. They just started saying you're traveling to Poppenbüttel using S1 line. And I was like, hello? And I checked the Deutsche Bahn app and it tells me I'm in the correct place and there's nothing I should do. I should just continue traveling. But then I look at those little maps that are displayed inside the tram, which show you which line you need to, which line you're using, what stops you pass by, where you need to transfer to get to whatever. God, why am I explaining maps to you? I'm sure you've seen maps. You know what maps look like. And I see that I was supposed to transfer 3 stops ago, and I just didn't because my Deutsche Bahn app did not tell me. And this is again how much reliant we are on GPS. And I know I always go on this tangent about GPS being so revolutionary nowadays, but it really, really is. And well, if it functions. And I just was like, oh my God, what do I do? So I got off on the next stop. I was like, there's no point in me, because I was literally on the second to last stop of the entire line. So I get off and I get to the next, I catch an S-Bahn on the way back, and I get off and I transfer and I go to the airport. And then I was, I made it right on time, and thank God I left early, because I usually account normally like half an hour to an hour of getting lost so that I can have enough time to get found again. Especially when it comes to countries, I am familiar with the way, especially the Hamburg transport to the airport works, but I guess not that well, because I made a mistake. And I was legitimately very worried that I'm not going to make it on time, but it was perfectly fine. And I was also worried that my Air Serbia flight, because it's a connecting flight, that it was going to be late, because last time I told you about a connecting flight which was late. Well, this was the only time I've actually traveled with a connecting flight, was in January when I was flying back home. Not home. Well, did I just do like a Freudian slip, but like not a Freudian slip, but assuming the Netherlands is my home? I don't think the Netherlands is my home. I mean, it's what I've been calling home, but like I still feel home in Bulgaria. That is a topic of another time, about like how immigrants feel they actually have no genuine home, because once you leave, it's like you never fully go back to what once was. And what once was the actual feeling of home, and you lose that the second you go away, because just your life branches out in so many different directions, and life here branches out as well without you being here to see it blossom. But that is a topic for another time. I really don't have the capacity right now to dive deeper into immigrant nostalgia and immigrant experiences, because those are definitely something I need to have slept for in order to dive deeper into. So I was very worried that my flight was going to be late, and especially my first flight, because if my first flight is late, I'm missing my connecting flight, and that means I'm stranded in Serbia, which not great. Really not great, especially considering that in an hour and a half I need to leave for a festival. Yes. My dad keeps telling me, you're youthful, you got this, like you can survive with no sleep. Guys, I don't know if I can survive with no sleep. So I, the flight was on time, and I get to Belgrade, and from Belgrade I do like an hour and a half of a layover, and then I'm supposed to fly to Sofia. And it was one of those old planes that had the I'm going to sound like Sofia Vergara here, but like the taka thing. Like, what is it called? Wait, let me look it up, because I legitimately don't know what it's called in English. But it was a small plane, only 2 rows per side of the plane. And I was quite worried because, wait, let me look up the word. I know, like, when it comes to fish, it's called fin, but it's not a fin. airplane propeller, is that thing? Airplane propeller. Yes, they were those propeller airplanes, and those are, I don't know, I'm just like not used to traveling on those, and they seem so old-fashioned to me, and I don't know why I perceive old-fashioned as not safe, although, like, air travel, despite the heightened media coverage of tragedies that has been going on this year, is still the safest mode of transportation there is. But you know how I told you I wasn't actually anxious about the trip? Well, I lied, because the second I got into my seat on the plane, I was like, what if I just don't make it? And I was quite nervous when it came to this, because I started spiraling. And to make myself feel better, I was like, Magdalena, there is a higher chance you die in a car crash on your way from the airport to your hometown than on the airplane now. And that obviously did not help. And I don't know why I did this to myself, because obviously I had to travel from the airport to my hometown, and it just created stress for the travel later. But for the travel later, I was so exhausted because, guys, I have not slept. I mean, like, I dozed off on the plane a little bit and on the bus, but it's not sleep, because it's so uncomfortable, and now my back is killing me. My entire body aches, and it's just, I've traveled for 24 hours just to get from the Netherlands to Bulgaria. People take shorter amount of time to get from, I don't know, Europe to Australia, which is at the other end of the world. Like, how? Why is Eastern Europe becoming so unattainable? And it's so unattainable, like, transport-wise, but also it's so expensive to go down to Eastern Europe. And, like, to people who are like, oh yeah, but, like, it's not really, like, well, no, you're just like, you don't get it. You really don't get it. And, like, it's cheaper. I remember, I will never ever forget. I'll most likely forget, but I'll have the podcast to remind me if I, become, God forbid, demented in like 50 years and just start listening to myself so that I can remember what life used to be like. I remember over Christmas when I was looking into buying a plane ticket to get home for the holidays, and it was cheaper for me to go and spend Christmas and New Year's with my friend who lives in Florida. I was going to say the city, but I'm not going to say the city. Who lives in Florida, and it was cheaper for me to go there than for me to go to Sofia from the Netherlands, which is staying in the same continent. It is literally a 3-hour flight, and the other one is a transatlantic flight. How is that cheaper? I mean, like, I know, because of, like, communism and stuff, and, like, not communism, capitalism, guys, I barely slept. Just capitalism and how, supply and demand, guys, supply and demand, like, economics 101. But yeah, that's just really not fun. And now, legitimately, what I have had to do for potentially going home for Christmas this year, I literally had to open a savings account and put money aside every now and then when I get my salary towards that savings account, so that I can afford to go and spend home Christmas home. You know what? I'm not even going to apologize for my English and not Englishing now, because I am surprised I am just as a person physically functioning right now. So I land in Bulgaria, and the thing is, I land at 3 a.m. and none of my friends, none of my family is in Sofia, because everyone is either in our hometown or at the seaside, because of course they will be, and because it's a Saturday. So I couldn't go anywhere, and I was just like, oh, I'll just catch like a bus, and the first bus is at 6 a.m. and I'll just chill at the airport, and then I'll catch either an underground or a bus to get to the main bus stop, and from there I will travel not to my town but to the neighboring town, because the bus to my town was at 9 a.m. and I was like, I'm fucking not waiting another 3 hours just to get to that town. I will just ask my parents to pick me up from the neighboring town, because that's like, sure, it adds 15 to 20 minutes more of traveling, but like I will arrive a few hours earlier, and I believe that's worth it. Shout out to my parents for being okay with picking me up. And so when I land, I get out of the the departure area, and I just find this area of seats, and I'm like, why is that area so empty, where every single other seat in the entire airport is occupied? Why are this row of seats empty? And I go there and I find out why they're empty, because the people behind me would not stop talking. And I'm like, it is 3 a.m. I get it, you're excited for your trip, but shut the fuck up. And they were having, well, I mean, one was talking and the other one was like, yeah, because they clearly wanted to sleep, but their friend would just not let it be. And they would just ask the most ridiculous questions. So the staff from my flight, like the crew, they just left a few minutes after we, the passengers, left, and they walk out of the departure zone, like the you know what I mean. And they see them, and that first person starts speculating, oh, where do you think they're going? How long are they staying? Where are they staying? Where would they travel from? Why would they stay here? But is that the pilot? Is that what are their uniforms? And I'm like, why does it matter? Why does it matter? Just give me silence. It is 3 a.m. Give me silence. Yeah. Also, you know what? Something I realized really, really spoiled me again about the Netherlands, and also, well, Bulgaria, since it entered Schengen and stuff. Just security. Because security in Hamburg because there weren't a lot of desks open, and there were a lot of people waiting there, because it's a massive airport. Why is also, but you know what's a massive airport? The Belgrade one. Why does it have to be that big? It takes me literally 10 minutes to get from where I arrived to my gate. Why? Who needs that big of airports in Serbia? And not to undermine Serbia in any way, but it's just like, I wasn't familiar with your game, Serbia. I just was not familiar with your game. But yeah, I'm quite spoiled when it comes to security, because this is going so spoiled, and what a first world problem, and what a strong passport holder problem. But security took 10 minutes, which is the longest it's taken me in years, and I was getting annoyed. And I know, but like, isn't that like the whole point of the EU and Schengen, that like we spoil each other and we make life easier for each other? And like 10 minutes, it was just 10 minutes. Why was I getting annoyed? I was so impatient, but doesn't matter. This is actually the first time I was not pulled away for extra security check, which I was super happy about, because normally I always do. And it feels like at times, like, guys, I know I'm Eastern European and I know you have your prejudices about us, but like, come on, why every single time, they literally every single time make me open my luggage, make me show my stuff, and like further inspect me and touch me, and like, I don't know, I really don't know. It's just not great. So from the airport, I was supposed to go to the bus station to catch my bus. And recently in Sofia, they released a new line of buses which would allow a 24/7 access to the airport, which is something that should have happened way, way earlier. Because, I mean, I think that especially when it comes to capital cities and cities with airports, transport to the airport should be 24/7. And I am also looking at the Netherlands. Just from the major cities, there should be transport to the airport all the time to prevent, people sleeping at the airport, people being stranded, people. Yeah, I know, like, it benefits hotels and stuff, but it's really, really not great. So I'm very, very happy Sofia released this night line. Although it's like once per hour, it's still something. And I go there and I'm waiting for the bus to arrive. And it was actually, well, the first buses actually started running because it was already 4:30 a.m. when the bus, I was supposed to catch the bus to get to the bus station. And the thing is, the bus kept on getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And at first I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because the electric, no, not electric, what is it called, like the screen which shows you when the bus is arriving, which line is arriving, it just stuck. And I was like, oh my god, why is time not passing? Like, I know that when you're waiting, like, time flies by so slowly for those who wait, in the wise words of Madonna. Is it flies, the verb? Time goes by so slowly for those who wait. Every little thing that you say I'll do, I'm hung up on you. I love how she and ABBA did like very different things with the same beat. I really, really respect it. And both songs, absolute bangers. So the screen was stuck and I was like, oh my god, how is it still 4:07? It wasn't. It, like, 20 minutes had passed. It just, like, forgot to move. So I get on the bus. The person was extremely rude to me, and, like, I mean, I already have my prejudices towards Sofia people. I know. But, like, Sofia people have prejudices towards every single person who's not from Sofia, because they call us, like, the province people, and we're so below them. And it's just, like, I get on the bus and I get it. Sir, I get it. It's 4:30 a.m. You don't want to be here. I, trust me, don't want to be here as well. But there's no need to be rude to each other. And when I greet you, the least you can do is say hi back. So I get there, get on the bus, and he's already a few minutes late. And I had to, because Sofia is one of those cities where you need to travel like an hour to get from one place to another. I had to change buses. And I had a 4-minute transfer, and because he was already a few minutes late, and I kid you not, I'm usually the type of person who's like, slow down. That guy, he was driving no more than 20 kilometers per hour. And I was like, come on, babe, put your, like, pedal to the metal, like, metal to the, what is the you know what I mean, like, just put your foot on the gas, please. I promise you we're going to be safe. There's literally no one on the streets. Just drive. And obviously he didn't. And I missed my connection. So the next connection was in an hour, which meant that I would miss my bus and I would have to wait for the 9 a.m. one. Yay! Don't we just love it when this happens? So I got off, like, again on an earlier stop than I was supposed to, because I was going to miss my connection either way. So I was like, I will just find a different way to get to the bus stop. And I downloaded this app called Move It, and it's basically like Google Maps, but it's exclusively for public transport. And it fucking pissed me off because there were ads every 2 seconds. And when I would need to, track which stop I need to get off at, it would just show me ads and I would just be like, I don't know if I need to get off here. So just, I hate this. I really, really hate this. I think that ads are becoming, and I get it from a media perspective. I get it. This is the way we get, services for free, but like it's becoming excessive. And especially when it's like in such situations where there's urgency, an app can make or break this whole situation, especially when it comes to, okay, now transport, fuck it. But like when it comes to, let's say, medical situations, if you give me an ad before the first aid YouTube video that I'm going to watch, this might actually mean that someone dies because you are so greedy and you are like, oh, let's just make money off of this and show them an ad. So I genuinely think that we should, I get it. I understand the importance of ads. I study also marketing, so I'm also would like to enter that field. But there should be some common sense when it comes to displaying ads, and there should not be ads every 2 seconds. And and that's my another radical left commie take. But so obviously I get off on a stop I was not supposed to, and I try to figure out stuff, and I just run on one of the biggest boulevards in Sofia with my suitcase so that I can make it to catch this another bus. And from there I go to what is it called, like a neighborhood basically that is so far from where I'm supposed to go, but they have an underground there. And from there I get on in the underground, and obviously I miss my train there, so I had to wait for the other one. And then I changed trains and I finally reached the Sofia bus station, and that was genuinely an ordeal. And what I wanted to say is that from there I travel by bus. My mom came and picked me up, and I arrived home 9:30 a.m. I immediately took a shower and just passed out. And my goal was to, because I hate sleeping through my days. I always feel like my days are wasted if I sleep through them, which is not the case, because that is just, you need rest in order to survive. The same way you need food, you need rest, and there is no shame in needing rest, especially after you have traveled for so long. But I just set my alarm for 3 hours afterwards. No, 2.5. And I just kept on snoozing and snoozing and snoozing. Okay, SZA, I can lose. Guys, I have a story about Kendrick and SZA because I went to see them, but I don't think I'll have the time this episode. Because originally my goal was actually to talk about a concert, because that was a very exciting concert, but I don't think we'll get the chance to do that because I, again, need to get ready for the festival. And so I kept on snoozing my alarm. And originally my goal was to wake up at 12:30 and then work out, because I don't know why I'm like this. I genuinely don't know why I'm like this. I just kept on snoozing and snoozing, and I woke up at 3:30. And I think that's okay. I have slept 5 hours now. I have a festival to go to, and that should be all right. But I just want to put it now into perspective. For me to arrive from the Netherlands to my hometown, I have traveled by public transport bus, then first train, then bus, then train, then another train, then S-Bahn, then S-Bahn, then S-Bahn, then plane, then bus, then plane, then bus, then bus, underground, bus, car. And if this is not the embodiment of Lady Gaga's bus, club, another club, bus, I don't know what is. I genuinely don't know what is. Like, why? And that's why I always get so fucking annoyed when someone tells me, oh, but why do you take so long to travel? Like, Amsterdam is like a 3 hour flight away. Yeah, Amsterdam is 3 hours away if you live in Sofia and your final destination is Amsterdam. And in neither country of the countries, like from the country of my departure and the country in my arrival, I don't live in the city with an airport. I leave, like, not leave. I live 3 hours away. And that's why I have, this was literally my final straw. And I am certain that the next city I move to is going to be a city with a functional airport, because I just cannot keep doing this. I really, really cannot. And I feel like I deserve better. And yes, sure. And what I mean by functional airport is the city I live in the Netherlands has an airport, but it's one that's has flights like once a week or something like this, and they don't fly to Bulgaria. They have like a luxurious flight to Turkey. And what is the point of me going to Turkey just to get to, I mean, like, technically I go to Germany to get to Serbia to get to Bulgaria, so like it's basically the same thing. But like I no, no. So the next city, I know cities with airports are loud and busy, but like I am moving to a city with an airport. And by loud and stuff, I also was super pissed, not only at Hamburg, but also at Sofia, because Sofia as well smelled like car exhaust and piss. Sofia is beautiful, actually. I know I'm not selling it right now, and I really think that if you visit Bulgaria, you should definitely, definitely visit Sofia. I just really, I have a bone to pick with her. I don't know why. I just have never been that big of a fan of Sofia. It could be because I come from such a small town and Sofia is far larger. Like, I mean, I come from a town with 30,000 people and Sofia has like 2 million people. And that's just like a very big jump. And it was a big jump for me to move to a city with 200,000 people, let alone with 2 million people. But I just know, I know it, that I am destined to be a big city girl for at least a little bit of my life. I want to live in a big city until I get tired of big cities and start looking for my peace and start appreciating my peace. Because sure, now when I'm in my hometown and it's so peaceful and I just have quiet and can rest and it's not packed because I hate crowds, I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I used to see it as boring before I moved, but now after having been exposed to crowds the way Western European cities crowd, I really, really appreciate a small town. But I feel like when it comes to me experiencing my youth, I would love to live in a big city and just have that experience under my belt, because I just think there's far more to do. There's more opportunities for development, obviously. And I'm not saying long term, because I would love to have a peace and quiet when it comes to my everyday life, but just for a little bit, I feel like I would genuinely enjoy it. But as for now, I'm stuck where I am, because obviously those cities are far more expensive to live in. And I just, if guys, if I could live, like if I could afford to live in the city with an airport, do you think I would be traveling like this just to get to save 200 euros? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And again, I just cannot wait for the day where I'm not, first of all, reliant on public transport to get from one place to another place. And public transport is extremely slaveful from an environmental perspective. It's very constraining. And I also just cannot wait for the day 200 euros is not that life determining in my existence that I feel I have to save it. I would love for one day to be able to spend more money if it's going to secure me the comfort of the experience, because I don't know how much longer I can go. I mean, now, sure, after 4 years of traveling like this, because my fastest trips take 13 hours. And yeah, that is the fastest. Like, if my trip in general takes less than 15 hours from my hometown to where I live in the Netherlands, I am super happy with it. I'm like, oh my God, that was so fast. And sure, by now I am used to it. It's been 4 years, but I'm getting tired of it. Like, legitimately, I am getting so tired of it. And it's just, I like, sure, in Sofia, all of my friends live in Sofia, and I have family members in Sofia, so I have places to stay there before my flight if I want to not travel all the, let's say, 13 to 15 hours in one go. But I just, most of the time, don't take advantage of this, because I genuinely feel like I would rather travel the 15 hours in one day and just get it over with than separate half of the trip today and half of the trip tomorrow, because I feel like this, it takes longer. It takes 2 days instead of one. And I know it takes technically the same amount of time, but it's just far more demanding in a way. And I just also, after hour 9 of my travel, I start existing by inertia. And the fact that I have to sit and wait another 3 hours until I catch my bus, it doesn't, I mean, it bothers me, obviously, but because of inertia, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's another 3 hours. And it doesn't feel as heavy. And that's why I just prefer traveling everything in one go, because I'm like, let's just get it over with. And sure, after a 15-hour travel day, I am more exhausted than I would be. Well, I actually don't know if I'm more exhausted, because I have had all the stress in one go of traveling, because traveling, no matter how much you travel, no matter how used to it you are, no matter how safe in general it is still stress. And especially when you're traveling with luggage, when you're traveling like overseas. Well, I'm not traveling overseas, but like, you know what I mean. It is stressful. It is stressful. And I feel like I would rather have all the stress in one go than spread over days, because it prolongs my stress and it prolongs my travel. At least this is how I perceive it. So, yeah. But like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And sure, I get it. I am the person who chose to go and study abroad. I am the person who chose this city, and it's a privilege. I'm not complaining. I know it's an extreme privilege that I get the chance to travel and to visit home and to get the chance to study abroad. It's a privilege. I don't take it for granted. I realize it. And I'm not complaining in the sense that I know I chose it. I know it was my own decision. So don't perceive this as complaining and just like being done with everything. I'm just sharing my experience. And I just remember the first time my family visited me, when I was booking stuff for, like, the flights and then the trains and everything. And I just remember my sister was like, oh, but don't think that we will do the same thing you do with like traveling 13 to 14 or 15 hours. Like, and I was like, babe, there's literally no way, because I live in Bulgarian. We have this saying that is very, very vulgar, so I'm not going to say it, but it concerns vagina and living in a vagina. Well, your mom's vagina. We have an interesting language, guys. I've told you before, every curse word we have, like the severe ones, concern mothers, because mothers are the highest a like valued person in someone's life, and this is where, you know, it hits. I don't know why my language developed like this. I really, really don't know. I'm not saying I'm okay with those stuff. It's just how it operates. I mean, it's misogyny. It's pure misogyny, and it's just been so normalized that we don't give it much thought when we use it, but it is purely misogynistic, and I am not happy with it. And I try actually to avoid swearing, but like today I couldn't. Like when my mom picked me up, I started swearing because I was like, come on, let's fucking go. I'm so fucking tired. I need to rest. And yeah. And speaking of mothers, my mom is now calling me to get ready for the festival because we need to leave ASAP. I haven't had breakfast. It is currently 5:30 p.m. I had like, I don't know what I had, but like it was yesterday evening, and I should probably go have some breakfast before I go to the festival, because apart from being exhausted, I should also, you know, try to stay alive by nourishing myself, because also I am back in the country where it's 30 plus degrees, and I'm just so happy to be back because I love this weather. I know, like it's not great, it's global warming, it's drought, but I love the heat. Obviously I don't love having to shave my legs because I have to wear shorts, but like that's another misogynistic thing, and like patriarchy has taught me that I need to shave my legs and it's not okay for me to go with unshaven legs. But why do you think I wear so many sundresses? If you see me wearing like a floor length sundress or a skirt, chances are I didn't shave my legs, because it's just exhausting, and I hate that this is a standard that's been set on us, and I want to be able to enjoy my summer as a person and not like as a smooth dolphin, because I am a person and I should be entitled to have human, you know, body and hair and stuff. But I feel like I'm genuinely on the verge of a breakdown, and I am crashing out severely. I am crashing out. So let me go and crash out at the festival. I will go make myself something to eat, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I didn't plan on talking about this. I'll tell you more about... Well, I didn't tell you anything about the Kendrick and SZA concert. But I will tell you everything about it next time. Unless something like severe happens and I'm like, wait, Kendrick and SZA can wait. Can they wait? I don't know. I don't want to make them wait, because it was genuinely a very, very pleasant experience, and it was my first arena concert since, you know, Vienna. And I'm sorry that I mention Vienna all the time. It's just like something monumental in my life, and I know it's probably annoying to hear about it all the time, especially when I'm such a devoted concert goer, but it is what it is. You either put up with it or you switch off the podcast. Whatever you choose to do, it's all up to you, babe. Like, freedom of speech, your freedom of choice. Do whatever you want to do with your time. But what I'm going to do with my time now, I first need to stretch because my back is killing me. It is killing me. I don't know how I'm going to survive being like standing up for the next hours. And like, I hope I have a nice time. I hope my tiredness just doesn't come in the way of me existing. And thank God tomorrow is Sunday so that I can sleep in a little bit. But you know what? Doesn't matter. I am like speaking complete nonsense. Shout out Sabrina Carpenter. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I genuinely don't know what this episode was. But I hope to see you in the next one, when I hopefully will not be crashing out as severely, and hopefully will not be as sleep deprived, and hopefully will not have had to travel 24 hours just so that I can come here and, you know, press record. But even if that's the case, that's Dirty Martini for you, babe. That is Dirty Martini for you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, stay hydrated, wear sunscreen, and don't support genocide. Bye!